9 guys with runners in scoring position over the first 6 innings in that game when Zach Gallen was peaking, throwing a no-hitter. D-backs had a runner, I think, on third with twice with 2 outs, but could not get the run across. And, maybe they just ran out of gas. You got, a somewhat young roster.
Could be true, Rock.
Maybe you're pressing and the pressure. I will say this. I can't name one Texas Ranger fan. I don't know any, but damn, were they in attendance last night?
They were.
I know. I can see D-back fans. You're down 3-1. You can make a nice penny on your ticket. You've been there. You experienced the game. Maybe you went the game before. I can see selling your tickets, but man, it was loud in there when it came to the Ranger fans.
Yeah.
I was so impressed by the Ranger fans traveling like that.
You look at the game, there were dead runners at first and third with no outs one time, line drive, then double play. That's the inning. The other thing that really surprised me with the 10 strikeouts, you had 3 or 4 called strikeouts to end an inning. And as far as things around the plate, you got to be swinging when things are close. And I know Uvalde's a hell of a pitcher, but to your point, Rob, he got out of a jam for 4 innings straight. When they didn't score in the bottom of the fourth, I said, damn, they're only going to get so many chances. Because you knew he was going to settle down and really start to, pitch like we're used to seeing him pitch. But if you got a good pitch like that, if you don't get on him right now or take advantage with runners in scoring position or runners on base, then at that point, eventually he's going to settle down and you're going to start to see him go to an on-to level. And then we got to give him credit. Some of the fielding plays are phenomenal. Seager.
They were.
Simeon.
Yep.
Up the middle.
Yep. I can say this. Zach Gallen pitched his ass off. Probably the best game that he has thrown all year long, and he did it in that closeout game. Had no hitter going through 6 innings. A tremendous performance by Zach Gallen. And we questioned a little bit on the show, was he starting to run out of gas a little bit?
34 career starts. That was the most this year.
Yes.
He went 2-3 in the postseason, in 6 postseason starts. Close to almost a 5 ERA.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe his arm was tired.
Well, maybe the extra day by going by committee, by bullpen in Game 5 might have helped him that extra day.
Maybe.
And then yesterday, instead of going, starting him a day sooner, and then if he wins, go Merrill Kelly today. Go Saturday. So I think that's maybe the game plan. They felt, well, maybe they sensed he was, running out of gas. Maybe his pitches, his location went where they wanted to. And they said, let's do this, committee by bullpen by committee and go Game 5, which really, you're right, right? It was.
Who was it?
I've never seen that before.
Was it Tampa or Houston that first started it?
I think it was Tampa.
Okay. It's like it's stuck.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the amount of money that these organizations have that you can't have. I can see a 5th.
The
fifth
starter,
sure.
Sure.
But how can you not have 4 starters?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think when
Nelson, he could have went. In retrospect, he pitched well the day before.
Well, he threw 5 innings. Ryan Nelson came in and threw 5 innings in that game. I think it's kind of interesting when you saw when Tampa Bay was in the World Series when Sale was just literally sailing along. He was money, and they yanked him because of the sabermetrics or the analytics, and they get beat. He was money.
Yep.
And what's interesting? He's gone to San Diego, and he's a good pitcher, but you don't see for some reason the same kind of moxie or ability that he had when he was with Tampa. But I'll never forget that. I'm going, it's a World Series.
Yeah.
Why are you yanking him? Sure enough, they end up getting beat. Bullpen comes in, gives up the lead.
Yeah, a big question we'll talk about it quite a bit over the next 6 months is what will this team do to get over that hump, to win a world championship again? Will they spend some money? We know that, there's talk that they're going to, up their spending for the upcoming season, but we'll see who's out there, what players are out there, what free agents are out there. Will there be some trades? D-backs were 21st out of 30 in player spending, and you look through what they did to get through Philly and L.A. Both those were 4 and 5 respectively. The Rangers, they were number 10. If the D-backs can get in that 15, 13 in that area, make some tweaks, get a couple starters. I think another guy for the 8th inning, possibly a Ginkgo I really like, maybe in the 7th inning or somebody like that. But I still think they need that star player,
They
that
do.
that big bat, that's someone that you fear.
I would agree.
Like
They need a face.
Yeah, like they've always needed a face. I mean, that was one thing that we've always talked about this organization not having that identity. It was Kirk Gibson. You know, I mean, it wasn't Luis back then. Well, the 2001 was a little bit different because you had 5 faces, right, or 4 faces,
multiple.
But then over the last 10, 15 years, Tony La Russa.
Yeah,
really, Paul Goldschmidt didn't want it. Right, we talked about that multiple times. But they haven't had that face.
Goldschmidt, would you consider him the face?
No,
He didn't want it.
He didn't want it.
He didn't want it.
As we're saying,
That's
he didn't want the
amazing.
face.
He didn't want it.
Yeah,
And at least we don't know that for sure.
And you know
but,
what?
But they still, maybe it's Carroll, Corbin
Maybe.
Carroll. I think the fact that you knew it. I mean, we were at the bar last night, and that first inning, he gets on base, and we all looked at each other. He's going.
Oh, sure.
And I said, good small ball. They're going back to that. And he stole second.
Yeah.
But then they couldn't get him in, But anyway, I think it was a hell of a season. Everybody involved should be applauded. D-back fans came out. I was a little disappointed in what they did the night before. I wasn't on yesterday to bitch about this fan base that made us, I think, look quite embarrassing with the paper planes and stuff like that, and the kid running on the field and all that other BS that went on. Come on. It shows that we are an immature sports town. It really does. I mean, your stand up for cancer. It was a great moment on television.
Awesome.
And you idiots who were at the game decided to fold those things up and then use them as airplanes to throw them on the field.
Yeah.
That's BS.
Yeah, I
Give me a freaking break.
And for me losing a sister to see that, I was like, I was insulted, Rock. I was embarrassed.
Should have been.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Those had names of people on them.
Yes.
Or your family or friends, and you got to fold them out and send them out there. I'm like, are you kidding me? After you honored those individuals, you want to go ahead and, come on.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
What
and
they
it
did.
was a great scene by
It
doing
really was.
It really was.
So
And one thing I think about this team moving forward, okay, competing against the Joneses, okay, they're not going to outspend the Braves or the Dodgers or the Phillies, on and on and on. But I think if the way this team played, at least initially in the first half of the season, you keep that core nucleus and you figure out why that team played like they did in the second half, as bad as they played, and to sneak in the back door. I think from here on out, okay, how do they, if they can, compete with the Dodgers, not with the salaries, but in a way that on the field they'll be able to go ahead and match them and maybe vie for National League West title and not fade in the second half, are some of the things I think Ken Kendrick's going to sit down with Mike Hazen and talk about.
Here's the State 48 roofing question that we are using today. What area hurt the D-backs the most in this World Series? Was it hitting, starting rotation, bullpen, or managerial decisions? Those are your 4 choices. You can go to the website, or I should say our Twitter page at Rock and Minuch. That's our State 48 Roofing. It's your call question of the day. For a free quote, head to state48roofing.com. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I'll give you a quick update for those folks who have not gone to at Rock.
I have not yet.
Hitting, leading it at 60%, followed by, gentlemen, manager decisions at 20%.
Oh.
Then the bullpen, last but not least, the starting rotation at 6.7%.
The only manager decision that I was upset with, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, was the
Bullpen
committee. Yeah, the
start.
bullpen
Yeah.
committee
2 minutes.
starts. That's, for me, I thought everything else was relatively sound.
It's interesting. You watch all the Major League Baseball and ESPN and blah, blah, blah. They're like stunned. He's going to do what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know. And I just hear more and more people go, okay, there was a flaw there. And my intention was maybe they gave the extra day because they didn't have that 4-starter for Gallen to be able to throw like he did last night. That's the only thing I can think of.
Okay.
Speaking of the manager,